Welcome to the She Build Show. I'm your host, Stefanie Olson, a licensed general contractor who builds new construction, renovates, and designs your vision. Today, more than ever, we need raw, authentic women who are willing to rise above society's norms, break those glass ceilings, and encourage each other to boldly build the life we were meant to live. So, honey, what are you building? She Build Show. We have Jenny, our guest today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You are welcome. Can you take like the shortest time possible and tell people what you do?
Oh man. Okay. So I really am a Jenny, a Jill of all trades, and I just do a little of everything. I do general contracting, but I actually do all the work pretty much. We sub out very little. I co-own the company with my husband. I work as a safety compliance manager for a truck company, and I am now a children's author of a book.
Oh my goodness. Jenny of all trades, right?
And a mom and a wife and all the life stuff too.
All the personal amazing things. Is there anything like specifically that like has been on your heart lately or that you just like want to talk about or share? Like I'm just wondering if there's anything, because you do have so many things that you're doing and there's so many exciting things. Is there anything specifically that you're like ultra excited about?
Oh, this book coming out has been so fun. And now I got invited to go to Fab Tech, which is the biggest welders expo in the nation, and do like a book signing. And I'm just blown away. I've never even flown by myself alone before. So I'm just excited about all these opportunities and what's next.
Awesome. So tell me about the book then. What's the book about?
Okay, look, I even have a picture I can show.
Oh,
So
that's
it's called
adorable. Jenny, a Jill of all trades.
And then this one, I am a welder. I'm going to have a whole series. I've already got the second one started. And I wanted to show these kids about the trades because when I go in and talk to elementaries, it's like they don't know what's available. They don't see the vision because no one's showed it to them. And a lot of them don't have goals or ambitions like we did growing up as far as like, oh, I want to be this or this. They don't have that anymore. And so it's fun to get in front of them and have a visual of, a job that maybe they hadn't considered. So that's my goal with the books.
How long has this been in the works for you? Like when did the idea come?
I have always wanted to be an author, but I would say, I think it took about a year to get this one completed. And the fun thing about it is it's me, like this is my body in my PPE and with my tools and like I'm doing the job. And so it's fun because I get to tell them and take all my stuff and show the kids like my helmets and my, hammers and my whatever.
Right.
And it's just, yeah. So it was a really fun project and the kids seem to really love it. And I love that these little girls are like, wait, you can beauty and beast. Like you can look like all shiny and glittery, but like you can get dirty. And so I love that, like seeing their little minds.
Right. So you can be both. I think that that's a beautiful statement. It was actually funny. I went to a birthday party on Friday and like I walked in and I've got a cute outfit on. Like I went shopping. I had like leather pants on and like this little top and some heels, which is not my normal. And my plumber and his wife walk in like at the same time. And I'm like, what's up, Sam? And then his wife, I'm like, went to go give her a hug because we've known each other for a long time. And she's like, who are you? I'm like,
who is this fancy lady?
Yeah, she was like, oh my gosh, I never see you dressed up. And I'm like, yeah, I can be both, like I can do both things. And
yes.
You don't have to just be one thing. And I think that is a nice thing to be able to talk about and accept that like, yeah, there is a side of me that does like to dress up and does like to look nice. It's not every day. And I couldn't wear those heels very long, but I'm still a woman, right? And I still like to look beautiful. And there's definitely that side of me. And I love that you're letting like little girls know that like, you don't have to just fit in one box.
Yes, because there is no box. I mean, really, nobody fits it anymore. I mean, I think there used to be kind of a box, but anymore it's like, no, there's not even a box.
There's not even a box.
No.
It's just here.
And there shouldn't be. So let's not re-put it out there, like let's keep expanding what the possibilities are because they're endless. Like they're endless.
Absolutely. So then you've done the book. And tell me about your, which I think is so amazing. And thank you for doing that. And thank you for getting in front of kids and just giving them something tangible to read and look at. And I'm excited to see like, what is Jenny gonna do next?
I know. And that's the fun part for me too. I'm like, okay, what's the job I'm on that I can take pictures like doing the job to cut my head off, and it's fun to like pre-plan and to actually be able to maybe pick jobs that tailor to what I'm working on. So that's kind of fun.
That's so cool. So was welding the first thing that you learned, or like where did it start?
I've just always really liked welding, and my welding is ugly. I don't claim to be a good welder. I'm usually like spot fixing something because it broke or, that kind of a thing. But welding has always fascinated me, and I just had a really good community of people. So that's why I started there, because I do think, the whole "it takes a village" is true, especially if you want to reach kids and if you want to have, your fingers in these schools. And it's like I needed to really study some of these professionals and learn some of that stuff. So that's why I started with welding. It's not the first thing I learned. Oh gosh, I don't know. What's the first thing we learn? I guess to walk, to talk. And, once you learn to walk the walk and talk the
I
talk, I
bet,
guess you just
I
keep
bet.
going.
Like, I don't know. My mom. So then where did the experience or the drive or the passion or like the commitment to construction come from? Like, where did it start?
So I've always grown up with blue collar workers and tradespeople in my family. I originally wanted to be a mechanic when I was younger, but there was never any opportunity. I never got into any of the schools. No one wanted me. So they sent me to beauty school, which was fine. I learned a lot there too. It's a trade also, and I think all the trades are important. I hope to cover them all at the end of the series, which will probably be never.
It's probably really endless.
Yeah, but I've always just, it's so funny. People would always tell me, "You're so creative." And it's true. I am creative, but it was like more than that. Like I was creatively building things and creatively, like, not just like I wasn't artistic necessarily. I was creative in my thinking. And so I knew I wanted to find a spouse who could fix things and do things, or I could not be with that person. And so I picked a husband who was in the trades, he is a contractor, and I just knew I wanted to be around that always. And so I always was part of everything. And then after being a stay-at-home mom for 15 years and just kind of being, I used to call myself the building bitch. Like I would tease, because literally anything he would ask me to do, I would do it. And then finally I'm like, no, I'm going to be the boss now. Like we're going to be like co-owners in this and we're going to do it together. So for the last 5 years, that's what we've done. I was always there and behind the scenes, but I wasn't taking the active role that I wanted just because it wasn't that time. So once my kids didn't need me within the walls of my own home, I'm like, let's see what I can do. So
Yay, that's awesome. So you just kind of, so how old are your kids now?
they're 19, 18, and 10.
Okay, awesome. You have a busy house. I have
Yeah.
9, 11, and 19. So
Yeah. Yeah. And
um
the span is good. And they're just to that point where, they are little self-sufficient humans. They need me, but not like they did.
yeah, when they were babies.
Yeah.
Um, so what's it like working with your husband?
It's good. It's so fun. I really do think the magic comes with men and women together.
Mhm.
I'm just pro anyone who wants to get into the trades, because we think so differently. Like
Absolutely.
we'll go to the same job and he'll be doing something and I'll be like, "Well, why did you do it like that? I would have done it like this." And actually we were marking something not that long ago. Oh, I think it was the tie downs or something. And he was measuring and doing that. I'm like, "No, no, no, you just got to go like this." And he's like, I have to tell my dad, because his dad's a contractor, and he's like, "We have been doing it this other way all these years and it's way harder." He's like, "You come in here and you're just like, no, boom, 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 here it is." And I'm like, that's because we just think differently. So I like it because, if I can dream it, he can help me figure out how to build it if I can't. And if he has a question on something, he'll ask me and he'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that would work way good. I hadn't thought of that." So I like the two together.
Absolutely, I do too, and I think I bounce a lot of stuff off my husband as well, and just having like a close person that you trust that has a, knowledge, experience, and a different perspective, I think is awesome. And I mean, sometimes I'm sure that there's frustrations that happen, but I think it is so important that we're just like everybody is welcome and like
Yes.
everybody has an option or an opinion or a say. What in what do you guys primarily do like in the construction business?
Um, we do a lot of custom built homes, but we also do a ton of updates, like remodels, because we live in a rural area and there's a lot of really old homes. And so we do a lot of like historical reboots, I guess.
Reboots. I love that.
Yeah, because like it's like you want to keep all the feelings and the flavors there. You just want to update them so that it's functional, but still
Yeah.
has that same feel. So
And so like what is your primary role? Like give me the layout of your business. Like is it just you guys? Yeah, I heard you say you don't sub a lot of stuff out. So do you have a lot of internal employees? What's kind of the structure?
it's us. It's just me and my husband.
Okay.
And then we're a ragtag crew. Like if we're pouring concrete, like my son will come help and my dad or his dad. And I mean, we really are just kind of this little family. We both have compliance day jobs from, like 6 a.m. to 2. And then our passion in building is the rest of the day. So we kind of get to be choosy and pick what projects we do. And usually there's not like a huge hurry because we tell them it's just us. Like it's not going to be a quick overnight thing. But I love that, you get to know your clients and you get to know, and a lot of them will still live there during this process. So they're
Right.
literally there. And yeah, that's kind of how we are. We're not, so really from everything from like design and engineering, digging out concrete. I mean, like to finish, like we just do everything. We do sub out HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, but other than that, we pretty much do everything.
So you're like pouring concrete, framing,
Mhm, mhm.
roofing, drywall, paint,
All
tile,
of it. Yeah.
counters, cabinets.
Cabinets, we do a little bit, but
You'll sub-
usually if we restore them, like that's usually on me. But if they want all new, we do actually get those through whoever they choose.
Right. That's incredible. So then did your husband learn every single trade and then like taught you? Was that like, and then it's just you guys working side by side? So do you leave work at 2 and go to work till when? Do you work 24 hours a day? What does this
It
day look like?
it feels like it. It feels like it. Yeah. That's kind of especially like the warm months. I'm in Utah, so there's several months that we try to be, dried in and on the inside, but sometimes we just won't pick to do stuff during the winter either, which is nice. We'll do just little jobs here and there. We do a lot of, this old lady called and needs fixed with this or that, or, really my end game would be to be a charity and be able to help people that are either elderly or have physical disabilities find what they need to make their home functionable. But so yeah.
That's awesome. So you are working all day. So tell
Oh,
me
yeah,
all
all the
day.
time. Yeah. And my boss at my trucking job is really good. If I say, "Hey, I got to pour concrete today," he'll be like, "Okay, no problem," and I just shift stuff around, and as long as I'm getting stuff done, it's all good. So,
That's awesome. So tell me about the the morning job. So you're in safety compliance for trucking, which has like another aspect of construction. My husband
right, and
my
trades,
husband
yeah.
has a fleet of trucks as well. So I'm and he has this amazing woman that keeps everything in
Yeah, of
line.
course.
Of course he
Of
does.
course.
And it's not me. What is your role there?
It's the safety compliance. So just making sure everybody's got the paperwork that they need and the drug tests that they need and that everybody's lined up. And I don't do any of the dispatching or any of that. We mostly haul cheese, which is cool because sometimes, stuff falls off when it's over weighted or whatever. So that's always a fun bonus to score a little cheese now and then. But yeah.
So with how many trucks are you guys running?
I think right now we have 24.
That's a
I think
lot.
24. Yeah.
And do you guys just do over the road stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you're just making sure everybody's getting all their weight and all the things.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Lots of paperwork.
Yeah, lots of paperwork. So what do you think like over the last 5 years has been your maybe like your most favorite project? Can you tell me about that?
Well, I think just coming into my own as a person. I think for so long I had been mom that you forget who you are a little bit. Like, you're in there, but it's so a different time in my life, and you don't care as much about what maybe someone might think about what you do, or what I just don't take stock into someone else having judgments anymore, because it's like, well, that's on you. I'm too busy. I've got things to do. Whereas when you're younger, you take everything on and you're like, well, then I need to change how I do this, or I need to change that. So I would say my personal growth throughout this whole process, and being able to have the confidence to do what I want to do and chase my goals and do the book. And whereas before, it's like when you grow up, I don't know, you didn't brag about your successes. You didn't ask for help. You put your head down, you worked hard, and you hoped someone noticed, which there's a lot of value in that. But there's also a lot of value in saying, you know what, could use some help here. And hey, check this out. Look what I did. What can you do to make it better? Or, I just feel like that part of my journey has been really nice.
Isn't that cool? So was there any like specific thing that spurred that, or was it just like this yearning inside? Because I feel like everybody has that, desire to do what they love or what excites them. And a lot of times we just kind of like shove it down, and
Right.
we just keep doing what we're doing. And, I had a big moment like that in my life where it was just like, I'm done like being everything to everybody else. Like that's why I started this podcast. It was just like, I need one thing in my life where it's just me,
Right.
like I
Yeah.
I didn't take direction from anybody else. I didn't do, because I'm a doer and I'm a get shit done kind of girl. And
Yeah.
so that lends really well to people who want to get shit done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody would come to me and to be the person who's getting all the things done. And I was like, I don't want to like be the second person. Like I want to
Right.
be me, and I want to be able to shine in my own way. And like I just didn't even care if nobody listened to this ever. Like it just did not matter to me. Like maybe that's how you feel about your book. Like I don't care if only one person buys it. This is like a product of my heart and soul and who I am and who I want
Yes.
to be, in a step in the right direction. So was there anything that like spurred it or started it, or was it just like, I'm done and I need to do this? Like, where did it come from? Because some people just don't have the ability to listen well enough to that calling
Right. To that.
inside of them and take action. So when you said you did something, I'm like, well, tell me how and why.
So, if anyone's like heard any of my other podcasts, this is the beginning of like my, wow, this is going to happen. I went to rent equipment and they wouldn't rent it to me. They wanted my husband's license. They legit did not trust me to take their machine. And I was like, well, there's something that just sits with that you're like, well, that's so dumb, And so it was like, so then I started like, well, no one's ever going to treat me like that again. So then I went and got certified in heavy machinery operation, because even though it's just a piece of paper, it does help people see like your value. And then I was the only girl. So then it was like me and my professors talking, and they were like, you should do a pageant. And I was like, I am not pageant. So then I was in the Mrs. Utah pageant, which changed my life forever, just because I had never done anything that uncomfortable in my life. I had never gone in a swimsuit on a stage. I'd never been in a competition of any kind like that. And it was so awesome. It was the first time in my life, because I'd always been a mom or in trades, that I was surrounded by powerful women.
Mm.
And it did
That's
change
interesting, because like from the
something.
outside, you don't see it like that. That
Right.
like women in pageants are these powerful women, but they are.
They are. And I mean, they are dedicated and strong, and they have all these qualities, and then they're so polished and refined. And, some, obviously you're going to click with some and not others. And there's always going to be, some parts of any group of women that you're going to be like, oh, that was a little catty, because that's just how we are sometimes. But overall, it literally changed me as a person. I realized in that moment, because I've always had stuff to say, but I never wanted to be out front to say it, because I'm one of those leaders that likes to push other people forward, which is fine. But I was like, it's my turn. And if there's a microphone, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to say what I need to say. And I've just never put it down. So I would say that's what kind of changed who I was, as far as saying it's okay. Like, I don't need someone's permission to tell me I can do this. I think I was waiting for that, but it was really just myself. Like, I had to give myself that permission to say, you know what you have to say is important enough to hear.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's a beautiful statement. And I think, like, a lot of times growing up, our parents' voices or other people's voices can matter more. Like, I even see this in my daughter sometime, that, like, if I had to have this conversation with her about, if mommy is upset with you about a decision, like, it doesn't change the fact that I love you and am proud of you, and who you
Right.
are is amazing. That, like, those two things can happen at the same time. I can be mad at you for being a little punk, and I can love you still. Like, it's just, I told her it's like the Statue of Liberty, like, it doesn't move and it doesn't change. And I associated as a child that love moved based upon what I did or didn't do.
And how well you did it. Oh,
Yeah,
for
and I had
sure.
to be an overachiever in everything to make
Yeah.
sure I earned that Statue of Liberty. Like, I don't know how else to
Yeah.
describe it, but that's like how I was describing it to my kids. And it was like, it is solid. Like, there is nothing you can do to earn it or take it away. You could do whatever you wanted to anybody in this life and hurt them beyond belief, and I would love you. Like, it
Yeah.
just
It's
doesn't
just there.
change. And like,
See, and we all need to that, like, flip that to ourselves.
yeah.
Like, that's the hard part.
Absolutely. And that, like, it's like, no matter if you fail, if you succeed, like, it is okay. You are loved and you are worthy. And, like, you can, like, I just want my kids to be able to stand in the foundation and and, like, the security of that. And so that they can own who they are, and they're not striving to get my approval.
Right. Or anybody's.
Anybody, yeah. But I think it
Yeah,
starts at home. Like, I
it
spent my
does.
entire life, like, just trying to impress my dad, you know?
I know. I know. And that's the thing. We, like, put all this stuff on ourselves. And at the end of the day, it's like, man, there is so much, like, so much heaviness that we could let go, that we just haven't learned to yet.
Why does it take to, like, you have to be old to figure it
I
out?
know, which I know, I always think that. I always think, if I would have been this gung-ho and self-assured 20 years ago, you know what I could have done?
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
would
could have,
rule the world. Like, come on.
I know, I could have moved those mountains. I always tease my teenagers. I'm like, your mom might not can move mountains, but she can piss all over it and make a hell of a stench. So, if that's all you can do, like, then you stand in it and you do it, like, you do what you got to do to get, belief in yourself and where you need to go.
Right. What a beautiful message. I
So beautiful.
like, it's not mountains, it's beautiful, but the message that, like, if we could have figured this out, like, if the things that we've been through or the stuff that we've been there, if we could have figured that out earlier, like earlier in life, and if we can help the next generation figure it out
Figure
earlier
it out
in life,
sooner. Yeah.
then, like, they're going to be so much, more ahead of where we are. Because it's like, I probably wouldn't have wasted 10 years doing stuff I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, and I listened to your last podcast about that it's not okay to be okay. Well, and maybe you've released one since then, but that was the last
Yeah.
one on my feed. And it was very moving, because I think we all struggle with our inner feelings and demons and turmoils and everything. And some people just can't share it. Like, I'm a pretty private person. I don't share, like, those kind of things. And so it was really nice to have you share and be able to, like, relate to that. And yeah, I wrote you a poem to end with when we get to that point about your podcast.
Poems. I shared a poem with my friend the other day that I wrote, like, a long time ago, and I read it again, and it just, like, made me cry. I was like, oh, that was moving. Like,
Yeah,
the
there's
beautiful
something
things
about words.
that can just, like, come from our souls. I love this. And I guess, do you have daughters or sons?
Both.
You have both. Are they two boys and a girl, or
Mhm.
two boys and a girl? That's what I have too. And I don't I don't know if it's a female thing or a male thing, but just my noticing of that approval truly coming, like, that my daughter desires that so much more than my son. I don't know if you noticed that, but because I went in and I told Trey, my son, the same thing. I was like, you know that, like, mama can be mad at you and love you. Like, did you know? And he was like, yeah,
I was
duh,
like, duh.
duh.
I
You know, that, who doesn't know that? And I was like, huh, like,
know.
why does it come so easy to you? And like, is that why it takes women a little bit longer to figure out, like, to own their identity? Because they're just like, I'm done doing shit for other people and making decisions to make them happy, and I'm going to choose me. Like, I don't know if it's like ingrained in us, if it's the people pleasing. I don't know if you have any insight or noticed that with your daughter, but
Oh, I definitely feel like women, we take on so much more and then we pile on our own too. Whereas I think men, it's not that they don't take it on, but they don't add their own crap to what's already there. Whereas we do. It's
yeah.
like, why do we do that? I don't know. But yeah, I get what you're saying. And I think boys are way easier to raise than girls. Like,
Yeah.
hands down, like those that have a whole bunch of daughters, I'm like, bless you. Like,
Yeah.
bless you. I don't
Right?
know. Yeah.
I know my daughter's gonna be 12, and I'm like, my husband and I were in the car the other day, and we look at each other, we're like, what's happening? Like, she's just like so many emotions and all the things, and I'm like, I don't know what else to do besides just like giggle internally, like, we'll get through this, but this is crazy.
I know when my daughter graduated and spread her wings to fly, me and my husband both looked at each other and we went, we did it.
Yeah.
We created a functioning human to go out into the world. We survived. Like, she survived. We're all okay. Because man, it gets rough. Like, it
It does
just
get rough. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, what do you have? When is I want to know when your book is coming out and when people can buy it, or if it
they
already
can.
is.
Yes.
Okay,
It
so
came out. Yes.
share with us where we can get it, because I would love to order some.
Oh, okay. You can go to jennyagillivaltrades.com and it has all the links to like Barnes and Noble and Walmart and Amazon and everywhere it's being carried. So that's just so exciting. And yeah, in a year, I'm hoping to have another one to add to that one.
Yay. So you got in Walmart and Barnes and Noble and
I
all
know,
these places?
right? I know,
How
right?
did you do that?
I don't know. I think like, well, I had an awesome publisher. She just changed her name of her publishing company, but it was Express Yourself Publishing. And yeah, she was just really good. And it was just, it's people are interested. And so as long as they're interested, those places will carry my stuff. And so yeah, and I'm hoping people that if you have got it, you go leave a good review because that's how people find it. But
Right, absolutely. Reviews. Okay, I think I'm ready for your poem.
okay.
What is it about?
So it's about you and about your it's not okay to be okay. And if anyone hasn't checked out her that podcast, you need to go hear it. There's a lot of emotion and feeling about just ourselves and dealing with all of that. So that's what it's about.
Oh, thank you.
I was impressed by your reserve and knowing who you are, by your allowing yourself to stop, breathe, and set your own bar. It's okay to be weak and spend time on your knees. It's okay to hit the point where you have nothing but desperate pleas. The strength from community and speaking out helps to bolster all of us, of that there's no doubt. I love that you were willing to share yourself raw, to admit that you had reached so close to that last final straw. To free fall without grabbing and trusting in you is a beautiful power we find when finding ways through. Your advice to others about not setting up camp, not living in sadness with a no-end timestamp. It hits pretty hard and brings up lots of feelings to feel, not letting the weight of life, our happiness steal. Thank you for knowing that people needed to hear everything you said about your sadness and fear. We should all build ourselves on positive foundations, not a framework of sadnesses, pulling persuasions. Everyone out there, go ahead and experience the sorrow, but remember, don't stay there because there's always tomorrow. We instinctively know when it's time to seek out a hand. It's really okay when things don't turn out just as planned. We all drop some balls when we have all these struggles, when we take on so much and we can't seem to juggle. Take time to stop and relish in a chance to go play. Not everything needs fixed right now, this minute, today. Never give up. Go out there and slay being exactly who you are, giving yourself and others the grace to shine like a star. May we all find our path where we show up and defend, where we truly are us and to our glory ascend.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Would you email that to me?
I will.
Oh, I
I know,
love
I see. I was like, don't crack up. Don't start crying. Don't do it. But we all feel that way. And it was so nice that you shared like your thoughts and feelings, and with those Hawaii fires and with everyone. I mean, there's so much emotion out there and stuff. So it was a lovely podcast to hear.
You know, I just was like, I process out loud and by myself. So like podcasts work well for me. Like I'm the person that's driving in the car talking by myself because that's like how I process. And I'm like, I just felt moved. I'm like, I needed to get out the emotion that was, you know, because it was coming out in ways I didn't want it to, right? Like I was being angry and short and impatient. And I'm like, okay, like we need to get it like up and out. And it was just, you know, kind of felt inspired in the moment. But thank you so very much. That is just means so much to me. And if you could email it to me, I would love to print it and put it on my wall.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, you are so sweet and so kind. And what a blessing that like I get to meet amazing people like you, just because like, you know, the stuff that we go through, and that it does like touch somebody else's heart. And if like you're the only one, like that's worth it to me, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And that's, yeah, my whole purpose is just, helping others find their path and whatever that looks like for them.
Right. We are so lucky to like meet other people that are freaking rad.
Yeah, I do. And that's why I love the trades and I love these people, because it's like we all have this common thread and yet we're different and we make it work, you know, and we create the infrastructure of everything. And so it's just an amazing industry to be part of.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon and have a wonderful day. And I'm gonna buy your books, and I'm gonna read them to my kids and share them with my little community, and just keep on rocking it.
Okay, thanks. You too.
Okay, bye, babe.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me today on the She Build Show. My name is Stefanie Olson. My hope is that this episode leaves you feeling empowered and ready to boldly take that step into building the life that you envision, 1 2x4 at a time. And if you can do me a quick favor, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes. I get giddy over reading the reviews each week, and I will choose one special person to win some She Build swag. Make sure you add your name to the review, and I'll reach out if you're the winner. Thanks again for hanging out. Be sure to visit me at theshebuildshow.com, where you can ask me questions and share with me what you're building.